Hi, this is Mrs. Johnson, and as you know, I am not in class today because I'm driving back from Chicago. So I wanted to go over a few things with the lesson for today to help you get going. And first of all, when you came in, you should have picked up a handout that looks like this, and it's the handout we're going to use for today. We're actually going to start on the back side. So make sure you're looking at the part that says Notes from Slides Start Here. Then you're going to need to go to Schoology and open up the link that has this slideshow. And actually, you're going to want to open up the slideshow and actually sort of have two tabs so you can look at my screen recording and then you can go back and forth. Okay, so our learning target for today is Knowledge 11, and by the time you leave today, you should be able to name at least 3 values that have been consistently held by Upper Arlington citizens, and you should be able to give some examples. So we're going to start with a little bell ringer type activity, and I want you to pause and go through slides 3 and 4. And what you're going to do is just take a look at these pictures and write down what you see. In slide 4, there's a video. This is actually from a 1969 UA parade. It's a home movie. So in order to see this, remember in a slideshow, you have to be in present mode. So take a minute, pause this screencast, and go complete that activity. And when you have finished notes with slide 3 and slide 4, then pick up this podcast again. Or I guess it's not a podcast, it's a screencast. But anyways, okay, so go ahead and pause it and do that step. Okay, so you should have some notes here, and we're going to come back to the slideshow and start learning about a guy by the name of William Pitkin and his plan for Upper Arlington. So in order to get some information about Pitkin, you're going to click this link, which will take you to a little short article about Upper Arlington. And if you read about the third paragraph down, you're going to read about William Pitkin Jr., so you want to make sure you note down who he is, and also some information about what's called the Pitkin Plan, because this was a plan that was used to help design Upper Arlington. So like south of Lane, his plan you can still see. So in the slideshow, you will actually see Pitkin's plan on slide 7. And you may want to open up the slide to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it more. So you can sort of see his thoughts about what this country club district, which will become Upper Arlington, should look like. So when you've finished that step, or before, I guess, maybe pause the video and complete that step, and then unpause it, and I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so now you have a little bit of information about our early founders and what they wanted for Upper Arlington. The next step you're going to do involves taking a look at some primary sources from a really old magazine called the Nor'Wester. So at this point, all of this section of your notes should be finished, and you're going to go back to the top of the page. And if you look at slide number 8, you'll see a list of values. And you're going to write these values down in the first column of this handout. So for example, I might write in my handout here, green spaces. Okay. And after I've written down all 5 of these, I am going to complete this activity. So what I need to do for this activity is to go to Google Classroom and open up the link that I have posted for you. It's going to take you to a folder that has, again, pages from this Nor'Wester magazine. So remember, when you're in Google Classroom and you want to open up a folder link, you click it, but you actually have to click open. So don't skip that step. All right, so back to the directions here. So what you're going to do is look at the pages of this Nor'Wester magazine, and you're going to look for evidence in the articles to see evidence of the values. So for example, if I'm looking for green spaces, I'm going to look at the articles and try to find proof of that. Okay, so let me just show you one other thing about the articles. If you click on one, if it's not big enough for you, there's a plus sign that you can click to zoom in, and you can kind of move the article around. Sorry if that made you a little bit sick there. The other cool thing that, well, I guess it's not, I don't know, I think it's cool. But anyways, you can click from document to document using just this arrow. And again, you can zoom in and zoom out. So this might be easier for you to use than going back and forth to the actual articles. So I'm looking for some evidence of green spaces. And I find this page that talks about beautifying homes and grounds. And it's got some information about what early Upper Arlington citizens thought about the way that you should beautify your home. So if I see something in here that I think looks good, I'm going to put it in my chart. And let me show you, I'm going to just actually pull up what it could look like for you. Okay, so actually this one is a slightly different example. So finding evidence that we have good schools. So if I look here, I'm going to open up the article that says our schools, and I can zoom in and find some information about the expectation about schools. And it looks like there's two handouts on this. So I write down the name of the article, and then I put down a quote that helps to see that this value is still was a part of UA's past. Now in this section, I'm putting my own ideas about how this value is still prevalent today. So, you know, do you think Upper Arlington still expects to have really good schools and excellent education? Okay, and so your thoughts go here, and if you can put a specific example, that might be really awesome. All right, so you've been listening to me talk a lot. You're going to have about 20 minutes to complete your handout, and let me take that out so we can print it for you. Then you're going to get a few minutes to corroborate with your partners. It's up to whoever is my guest teacher today, but during this step, when you're investigating the evidence on your own, if you'd like to listen to music, I think that's fine. But remember, when you're corroborating, you're actually talking to each other, so your headphones should be put away, and you should be having a good conversation with your peers. The very last thing that you will do on the handout is think about all that you have found out. And in this space right here, you're going to write down, using complete sentences, 3 things you learned about Upper Arlington's values. Anything you don't finish today is homework. So you want to use your time really wisely and do a great job for the sub. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.